Well, that's the kind of stuff that we've been seeing on the social media network on Cecil the Lion. Shaka Sisule, our social media sensei. It's a couple of things to talk about here, but isn't it remarkable? I mean, people shoot lions, and there's a debate about whether they should and why they do. And this thing's gone mad.
This thing is incredible. The internet storm that this has caused. I mean, I think it's like shooting Alex the lion, Alex from Madagascar, that because he shot like a celebrity lion, and it's over for him. So this is Robert. I mean, this is the Palmer dude, the dentist.
A dentist from the US.
Yeah, 55-year-old from Minnesota. Came out here, paid 600,000 rand, or the equivalent of that, to hunt a lion, shot it with a bow and arrow, and then they shot him with a gun.
Just looking there, it's saying that Zimbabwe seeks extradition.
So the minister, Muchunguri, who's the environmental minister, says that they want him extradited. They've got the laws in place with the US. The US is investigating it, so their own environmental agencies are investigating it. The minister says 500,000 people have petitioned to have this guy extradited.
Yeah, sent to Zimbabwe.
Yeah. You know how big this thing is? On Thursday, the UN actually had a debate about it and passed a resolution around poaching animals and illegal trafficking.
Now, the claim was that this was legal.
Well, here's the thing. It's felt that he and his guides lured Cecil out of his safe zone. So it was legal, but not shooting this particular lion.
Well, how are you supposed to know that this is Cecil? He doesn't have a name tag.
I don't know, but the other thing about Cecil, he was involved in research with the University of Oxford. So this guy was a busy dude. He's like, a professor of lions. He's not just like a lion. He's like a lion professor. And now that he's been killed, and as I said, he's as famous as Alex from Madagascar.
So there's hope. There's hope for the name Cecil, because Cecil John Rhodes is finished.
This is the first time in a long time that Cecil as a name has been awesome. Has gotten such a huge response.
It had a bad press a couple of months ago with the statue. But here's another little question for you, Shaka. If you shoot a lion, well, people say, well, that's unfortunate. If you shoot Cecil the lion, it becomes humanized.
Or if you shoot a person.
Well, Cecil is a person's name, and it's Zimbabwe's favorite lion. So it's not a lion anymore. It becomes an emotional connection with people. What interests me, and this is your field, is at what point does this suddenly become the phenomenon that it is? How does it work that suddenly this is global?
I actually don't know where exactly it started. I know, here's what happened. Internet vigilantes pretty much flooded the guy's websites. They flooded all of his social media sites. He's gone off that. He's
closed his practice.
He's closed his practice. They even scrubbed his face off all of the the industry sites. So wherever you had the industry sites in the States, they took his face off that. Outside his practice, they had a memorial with little stuffed animals and lions. And all over the internet, you had people saying weird things like "Cats Lives Matter," which is a play on Black Lives Matters. Lives Matter.
Yeah. We had the tweet there, Cecil's death was sadly more humane than the way the majority of animals we consume.
Come on, Natasha, get away with that stuff, man. Go be vegan somewhere else. What's Natasha talking about?
Well, what's the difference in slaughtering pigs and cows to killing lions?
I don't know. I guess we're not raising lions to be our food. Right? Then I guess we'd have a lot more lions if we
wanted to eat
we were growing lions to eat lions.
Let's talk about Jenny Button. That's a chain store, not a shop that I would have gone into. But what's happening with that on
Jenny Button trending? Jenny Button. So the company that owns Jenny Button, the Platinum Group, is apparently in liquidation. They've just gone on radio and said that they are not in liquidation, but they are closing their stores. They're selling everything. And so it's the Jenny Button, it's Hilton Wiener, and Akajo. Yeah.
And what's gone wrong? What's the problem?
I actually think it's just a very tough market. Business analysts are saying, it's a tough market, it's a tough environment. Edcon is struggling. We saw the results, the Edcon results. And also they're saying that the influx of other retailers like Zara and so on and so forth is putting pressure on the local clothing retailers. Interestingly enough, there's a trend that's just started breaking, which is Akajo clothing.
Yeah, we got it up there now with Hilton Wiener and Jenny Button. Yep.
Yep. Well, there's a trend that just started breaking, which is people who buy Akajo clothing, or Akajo clothing is for. And then, you know, and it's a really hilarious, you know, Akajo clothing is for the guy that comes without alcohol to your house, to your braai, and then asks, hey, can I have another one?
That's not a good reputation to have.
So that's what you see. And that, I suppose, also underpins what I guess is happening. That if locally the brands don't necessarily have, you know, the halo, they aren't necessarily seen in such a high regard. Yeah. Inevitably, I guess they're gonna struggle. Same
pantsuit and sequins dress chilling on their storefront for a good 10 years now. Right. Not up to date as well. You know what interests me? What interests me is I can see people getting worked up and emotional about Cecil the Lion.
Yes.
But about a clothing chain?
No, look, I think it's breaking because, you know, it's a big deal, you know. So, and it's also a great opportunity for us to talk about whether we like these clothes or not.
Do you like these clothes?
Jenny Button? I think a lot of Jenny Button clothes are better off on the floor.
You mean flat on the floor?
Let's just leave it there.
Where do you shop?
No, man, don't do this. Okay, this is tailor-made.
Tailor-made.
We go tailor-made.
Bespoke jeans. Bespoke.
Yeah. So the other thing, I actually something else that came up very interesting this week. All right, I know you're going to know this. Drizzy Drake, okay, was insulted by Meek Mill.
Okay. Not the only word that I understand and know of in that sentence is and maybe insulted. Yeah. What happened?
So two pop stars. One is incredibly huge. The other one is dating an incredibly huge girl, Nicki Minaj. So Nicki Minaj's boyfriend is a rapper. He's been opening shows for her on her tour, and he started, dissing, what we call dissing, Drake, who's a very famous rapper as well, and pop star. And the two of them did what is classical in hip-hop, which is they released diss tracks. So a diss track is a song where I insult you. The master of this was, of course, Tupac Shakur, right? And the two of them went at it this week. Meek Mill is now been called
We'll have to stop you, Shaka, not because I don't understand you, although I don't.
Yeah.
But we've run out of time.
No, I understand that, because I can see your face. You're like, this is Greek.
If it was Greek, I would get some
words.
But
if we were talking Sinatra, you would be talking about
Set him up, Joe. One for me,
one for my baby, and one for the road.
That's Shaka Sisulu, the social media.